Hello and welcome. My name is Kat if you're new here. It's lovely to welcome you into this little space. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. It is lovely to see you again. I hope no matter who you are, where you are, that you are doing well. I hope that you've maybe got something to keep you company, whether that's a project or maybe I'm sat with you while you're doing a bit of work or you have a nourishing drink. I decided to sip on it's a blend of green tea and herbs. I think it's sort of oat flour and oat straw, that kind of. It's very nice. It's one of the ones that I've just put in a glass jar. And I can't quite remember what it is. But regardless, it's feeling very nourishing, and I think that's what I need right now. And up front, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. We'll come back to that in a bit. I have so much to share, both in terms of projects and things that I'm working on and just life. I'm going to keep that a little bit later, I think. I will share projects, and today I am going to start moving towards separate videos for different projects. I'm going to do a few today. I think we're going to talk about 3 projects: a not Christmas Eve cast on, a not Advent project, and my Amara sweater. All of which are projects that have really brought me some joy, and we needed to take it very gently over the holidays for a variety of reasons. Felt very burnt out. I think I am someone that likes to move with the seasons, and my body needs to. But you know, the holiday season, when it comes to work, makes you work almost harder. Well, it does make you work harder, and I actually had to help Alex a little bit more than we anticipated, which was really good for stability, but I felt very burnt out by the end of the year. We went to visit my grandma, which was lovely, and my mum and dad for just Christmas Day, and came home Boxing Day. It was a fleeting visit, but for health reasons we didn't want to be there too long. We just needed to be at home and to rest, both of us. That's my husband Alex, if you're new here. And also little Audrey needed a bit more care than anyone could give her, so we also came back for little Mai too. She's the in-house familiar, she's a sweetheart. But she is asleep under the sofa because heating is on and it's warmer in her little den. And then for New Year's we played Magic the Gathering. We went to bed at 11, got woken up by fireworks, listened to them they went on for like half an hour, and then went back to bed. That was New Year. I'm not really one for New Year. I kind of prefer the solstice, and I almost want to start celebrating with friends more, or family, the occasion. So I'm hoping this year I'm gonna start doing that. I feel like that is more of a celebration in my little heart, like welcoming the light and maybe celebrating the 12 days from then. But anyway, that's all a bit of waffle. I'm sorry. We'll come back to the crafting. That's why we're here. I am wearing a lot of very difficult to see colours, or non-colours. I am wearing the Gondor vest by Fibre knitwear. I knitted this using, I want to say woolly knit. I think it's woolly knit, British wool cone in black, Drops kid silk mohair in black. I think I knit the smallest size. I wear it quite a bit, especially at this time of year. I actually put it under like both of these, so I have a mesh or a black thermal layer combined with a woolly vest. Sometimes a yak silk cardigan that I've got, and then a jumper on top, and I tend to find I don't need much more even when I'm outside, though I have been partial to both my big fluffy coat and my coatigan, which is the East Wind jacket by Emily Foden. I've been wearing that a lot lately. So that's that. I'm not going to talk too much because these are all things that I've spoken of in the past about. This is my jelly cube. It has these very dramatic witchy sleeves. I've knitted this in a bright green, a jelly cube inspired green, a bright pink, and black. And I do wear this a lot. This one I wear probably the most, but the other ones I use more as house jackets. So if it's cold in the morning, I put one of these on and it's quite cozy, but I also feel a little bit more elegant and glamorous, if you will, than, you know, I don't actually have a dressing gown anymore. So then chucking on a hoodie or another jumper, and I have to be careful because I often put like mohair jumpers on over my pyjama tops, and then you get mohair fluff in the bed, and poor Alex, it gets stuck to his beard. I'm also wearing a mohair hat, and again I think this was Drops kid silk mohair in black with, I think this one was the Evergreen base by Hobby, which was an organic merino, I believe. I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but very simple. It's this hat pattern that I just knit all the time. It's about 100 stitches on 3.5mm needles, 1x1 ribbing, and just a tube as long as you need. I've got quite a few folds on this, so I made this one quite long because I really wanted it to protect my hair in the winter. I'm trying to be better at looking after my hair. And then I think this one's a 4 or 5 point decrease, so divide those 100 stitches into 4 or 5, decrease every other round until you're happy with the amount of stitches, and then either decrease all around, knit two together the whole round, or just weave the tail through all the stitches, pull it tight, and then weave the end in. And then that's it. So these are all items I wear a lot. I also made, not the chain, but I made my little chainmail pendant for my necklace and earrings. I just really love chainmail. If I can add a little bit of joy, magic if you will, into my day, I do try. I think we all need a little bit more joy right now. Oh, I'm also wearing my, these are the Choose Your Own Adventure socks. I'm wearing them on the wrong feet, so the beautiful colourwork is on the wrong side. But these are some of my favourite socks, and they are a design by Harper, who goes as Disyarning. I really recommend the pattern. They fit really nicely. There's so much in terms of instruction. There is a clever gusset for taking into account the width of calves, and there is a chart for every class in Dungeons and Dragons. So Rogue, all the main classes, Rogue, Wizard, Sorcerer, Warlock. They're very cool. I do recommend. Let's talk about one thing you've seen before we move on, and I'm classing this as finished, but it's not entirely finished. This is one of, I don't know, the coziest projects I've ever done. Much like the, it was the Pearl Soho triangular, striped triangular shawl pattern, which I knitted using some special minis that my friend dyed for me, and a collection of other like remnants from other projects, and my own yarn that we had spun from local fleece. That was really, really special, and this feels like that, but slightly different. A lot of these yarns are from really, really special projects too, or colours from friends, or there's in particular a yarn set from my lovely friend Hannah of the Chromatic Yarns, or the Corner of Craft, depending what side of the company. She dyed up a collection based on the book Legends and Lattes, which is a really, really cozy fantasy book. Very gentle. If you're in need of something like that, I would recommend it. And yeah, so I got to use the leftovers of that, and the colours that just make me happy. And then like all the others from other people, and I won't go into it because otherwise we'll be here for a long, long while. So I ended up choosing to do a log cabin square. So you start by doing however many stitches you want, and then however many rows to create a square or a rectangle. I went for a square in the middle, and then, you know, working in like a log cabin. So you basically, and I ended up working 24 squares. Very simply, I cast on 30 stitches and then worked 30 rows. I then picked up 15 stitches and worked 30 rows. Then I did 30 stitches, 30 rows, 30 stitches, 30 rows, and then 45 stitches for 30 rows. And you get this sort of square, and I did opt for using, you know, really different weight yarns, and part of me was like, oh, is this a bad idea? Maybe you should, you know, change needles and change gauges, stitch counts. But I did also think, with it being garter and quite a heavy item when it was going to be complete, I thought it would be fine, and actually it has come out really, really lovely. I ended up doing 4 rows by 6, and I thought I would end up doing more, and I was going to. However, it was the perfect amount, 24, for a, you know, a not advent calendar. And I can also add more if I wanted to, but I actually ran out of most of the yarns that I had put aside, which was perfect, really. It kind of was like the yarn I'd chosen had said, this is enough, like this is the right size, this is the right amount, and it happened to be, you know, exactly the right amount to take me up till Christmas Eve. Once I had finished all my squares, I worked them entirely randomly, just picking colours that were making me happy throughout the day. I did use the dice a little bit, so I numbered all of the yarns that I had and then rolled some dice, but I ended up just packing a few balls of yarn, taking them in the car on the way to work or in the evening, and then just knitting the ones that made me happy. And that did actually work. It came out pretty random and like organised chaos. And yeah, once I'd finished, I laid them out on the floor with the help of Audrey, who wasn't convinced they should have been in straight lines or even, and just kept pushing them around. But I then used mattress stitch to join the short rows, and then once they were all in sections, I then went in and did the long rows. I'm really happy. I would really recommend this as a project. I would 100% knit another one given, you know, a reason. Perhaps I'll do another one next year and join them together, and then the year after and join that together and end up with the world's biggest blanket. We'll see. But for now, I'm really happy with this. I've fallen back in love with warm colours. I don't really understand why I was like, oh no, for a while, but some of them are cooler. I love this green so much. This is Nervous Fibre Creep. Yeah, I'm very happy, and I got to knit this with friends from afar, which makes me even more happy. And then here's the thing. I have done, you know, I've done quite a few of the ends, but there's still some that I really haven't done, and I'm just, every now and then when I feel like doing a bit of finishing, I'm just doing a handful and then just using it anyway. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and will definitely be keeping this in my memory bank and toolbox. Yeah, would recommend. Let's stay with the sort of festive theme, I guess, and I will show you my other finished object, which is my not Christmas Eve cast on sock. I think I ended up starting this Boxing Day or New Year's Eve, but I really love mustard socks. I'm not really sure why, but the socks I have in my wardrobe that I use the most are like generally are hand knitted. I don't think I've worn non-hand knitted in a long time, apart from at the gym. Yeah, are the mustard ones or the black ones or the brown ones. I will wear other ones a lot too, but generally they're the ones I gravitate most to, and I find myself washing them week on week. And I just feel like I needed an extra pair or two in my cupboard. So I picked up a skein of, this is I can't remember what she calls it, but it's BFL and Bio Nylon by Wool and Witch in the Sunshine colourway. It is a 25% bio nylon, 50% superwash, which I didn't realise, and 25 alpaca base. And there's 200 meters per 50 grams, and it's a fingering weight. And Steph sells them in 50-gram balls, and I know that I could get a pair of socks out of 50 grams, but I kind of fancied doing cables, which tend to eat up a little bit more, and I'm glad that I bought the 2 balls, or 2 skeins, because this one used up 30 grams, so just 5 grams over what I kind of would normally use in a normal shortish boot sock, because of the cables. And I wasn't sure like what cables I would do, and I just sat in front of the TV. What did we watch over the holidays? Ring of Power? We watched something else that we really enjoyed. Oh, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There you go. And I just started knitting. I did a simple wedge toe and then increased and then started with some cables, and I ended up accidentally choosing to knit the same pattern. Oh, shh, naughty phone. That is in the Intersection Socks by Hey Brown Berry. I would recommend. It is a pattern from 52 Weeks of Socks, but I think it's available as a single pattern now. But it's got this just lovely cable that's really fun to work. The heel that's used in the pattern is different. I just opted for a short row heel. It's one of my, it's my go-to method. I do really enjoy a heel flap and gusset, but I've noticed that for me the fit isn't much different or any different on me in terms of comfort or staying ability, so I just do a short row heel because it's just mindless for me. And then some 1x1 ribbing. Very simple, but it knitted up very quickly. And I started the second one, but as you can see, it's just a baby. It's just a little one. But I will do this as and when feels right. I kind of put this down when my next project that I'm going to show you started, just because it was, warming my heart, and you have to follow your heart. Yeah, really happy. Just quickly before we move on, I felt like I should share it a little bit, because I didn't actually send out all the ones that I wanted to, which means I do have some for next year, which is nice. But this year I opted to do a lino cut Christmas card. I tend to do those every year, kind of leaning a bit more into my affection for the solstice, and I did a lino cutting inspired by the Holly King and the Oak King, which is a lovely story. I do recommend even doing a YouTube search, there is people doing retellings that are quite lovely to hear. Yeah, it was just a really nice thing to do, and I kind of felt like I should have recorded it, you know, but it's a simple process. I've done a video in the past about it, and yeah, I just thought I would share. Finally, my Amara jumper, and I would show you the yarn, but I used almost every inch. There's probably 3 or 4 grams of the fingering weight yarn and the same of the mohair left. Well, a bit less, but it looks more because it's a lighter weight but fluffy yarn. I was very kindly sent the yarn from Earth Yarns a while ago to knit this project in particular, but I don't know, I was just really burnt out last year, and you know, even knitting socks kind of drained my energy, and kind of I enjoyed what I actually made, but my brain just wasn't there, like. But anyway, I was really pleased to be able to pull this out and just start it when I did. It knitted itself in about a week, which is kind of wild, and just goes to show how little we really did. We did some house tidying and stuff, but you know, we did a lot of just sitting, chatting, candles on, TV on, watching Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I started this project a while ago. It just didn't resonate at the time. My brain just wasn't having it. And there's no point doing stuff if you're not, you know, really excited by it. So I put it down, and then, I don't know, I just had a thought about it and I just got going. And anyway, so I wasn't aware, I didn't pay enough attention, and again, this is superwash, and I do tend to stay away from superwash, but the fingering weight yarn I used for this is 100% superwash extra fine merino, 400 meters per 100 grams, and the colour is grape leaf. It is a really lovely colour, like a khaki mossy green. Then, oh, bye! The other one is Bon Mohair, 60% super kid mohair, 40% silk, and 240 meters per 25 grams, so very good yardage on it. And the colourway is Monsoon, and it is a really pale sage grey, a bit like the sage green that Drops do in that I used for my wedding cardigan, which is now a very deep khaki. But I was a little bit apprehensive until I swatched about this combination. I felt like the marling might be a bit too harsh, but I'm so happy with how it came out. I ended up doing the smallest size and going down a 4 needle size, so I think it calls for a 5mm, and I did 4.5 to get a smaller gauge, because this will grow. I realised that it was superwash and it will grow a bit, but also I didn't want it to be quite so oversized. I really wanted the split back, which is one of the thing that drew me to the pattern first. I wanted it to sit and to move with my dresses just a little bit, my skirts, and it worked. I was a bit nervous that it might look a bit strange being a bit tighter, but I think it works. The only other thing that I did slightly differently was, because I decreased the needle size, I did pick up a couple of extra stitches on the sleeves. I think it was 4, and I didn't pick up so many stitches for the neck. I like a slightly closer neckline. I'm being a bit playful with not doing it so tight at the moment, so it's a mid flirt in terms of neckline. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's got these beautiful cables, it's got these bobbles, which I ended up, the first ones, you can probably see the difference, to be honest, I knitted, and I must do something strange, but they just don't pop. So I'd switch back to the method I normally do, which is crochet. I think they pop beautifully. Like I said, it's got this beautiful split at the back, which I really, really love. So you start from the bottom. It's a bottom up jumper with drop sleeves. You work flat until you get to here, join in the round, and then knit till you get to the underarm, and then you work the back and front separately, doing some decreases for the neckline, and then you pick up for the sleeves and off you go. I am just super happy with this. This is one of my favourite garments. And initially I was again a bit like, oh, it's not, is it not dark enough? But it's green. I love green, and I don't need to always wear uncreative colours. And it goes perfectly with my green linen skirt I made a little while back. So overall, I'm really, really pleased with this, and yeah, I just had so much fun knitting this pattern, and I'm not the only one. My lovely friend Hannah of Creative Anarchy knitted one in her colourway Toe Beans, which is really cute. It's a very cute name for a colourway, and it does look like toe beans. Little kitty. Yeah, and we had a chat, and I think she was about the same and knit it in a week, and yeah, I would 100% knit it again. I would probably be up for knitting it with a DK and a mohair or like, yeah, I think a DK and a mohair or a Plutalope unspun with an Einband, the lace weight. But I don't know, there's no point using unspun, really. I don't love unspun. I just want something a bit harder wearing, but you know, something a little bit more toothy. Maybe just hand spun. Maybe some hand spun would be fun. But I have no right or need to cast another one on. This is enough. I love it. So I have another finished object that I'll share with you hopefully next week, if not the week after. A hand spun ribbed jumper. And I will also hopefully have done a little bit more on my Wellana, which is a pattern by Marina Skewer. I really love Marina. Marina was kind enough to send me this yarn as a thank you for helping her at one of the knitting festivals. And this is her U colourway on the Stormy base, which is beautiful. It's her Mendip yarn. I'm not going to talk much about it because we're going to talk about it once I've done a bit more. But it's the Wellana cardigan. It's got these beautiful cables along the back and the sleeves. And my brain is finally ready to spend some time with it. I really just needed a break from slightly thinky knitting, it would seem. I just needed a bit of garter and some socks, and away I went. But this can now be used for the Out of the Dark make along, which is something that Marina's done a couple of years now. I'm not sure if last year was the first one. My brain's being evaded in that right now. But yeah, it's a little knit along that is meant to take you from the darkest days up to the spring, which is really nice. I'm not really one for the new year, and I think partly that's because my sister celebrated her birthday and was a little bit grumpy about having to share it with a big celebration, a big public holiday, if you will, as a young one. So there was always a little bit of like, nope, don't mention it in our household. But I think it's more of a a time of kind of a little bit of reflection and a little bit of thinking what the year's going to look like, and kind of hopes. But more, it's more about just like getting organised, like having a little think about projects and plans rather than what I'm going to change about myself, or these are new things that I want, habits I want to try. Does that make sense? I hope so. And this is the first year that I haven't got a book. So most, like for the last decade, I've had a little A5 book. I usually set up the year so I can see it at a glance and add in important things that are happening, like very, very quickly. I then tend to break it down into months and then listing the things I'd like to get done. And then I do a week by week to-do lists and that sort of thing. This year I haven't done it, and it does feel weird. I do feel slightly less organised, but I'm hoping that I can use Skillshare to do a little bit of thinking about different methods that I might do that, because I would like to come back and lean more into making videos and sharing what I do rather than just doing it quietly. I want to do it quietly but with company, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have a little look for project planning classes and see what methods other people are using, and if nothing sings to me, then I will probably just get a book or make myself a book. I think that would be a fun project too. But I do hope to see other methods and maybe try something different. I feel like it's time. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it is the largest online learning community for creatives. There are thousands of courses in loads of categories led by experts. There are categories like film, design, illustration, crafting, productivity. I think the first class I'm going to take is Project Planning for Creatives by Jessica Saunders. I think that might be a very good starting point. The first 500 people to use the link in my description box will get a month free trial of Skillshare. Yeah, join me if you would like and let me know what you are learning. Thank you, Skillshare. I have also been doing quite a bit of spinning, having not used my wheel in quite some time, which has been really nice. I'll share a bit more of that because I did manage to document quite a bit of the process, and I just don't want this video to be too long or overwhelming for you or myself to edit. And I think that's the thing. I've been talking about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I think having fun. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the thing is. Share having fun, share the joy and kind of the heart behind it rather than... Yeah, it might be a bit scary because it's going to be a bit more ad hoc, and yeah, I just think I'm going to really enjoy the way I've kind of foresee the year going in terms of making videos. I've got the support from you. I've got some lovely friends in real life that are cheering me on and have kind of got similar things going on. I had a really nice chat with my lovely friend Charmaine of Yarn Tings, and it's interesting. She's kind of going through a similar thing I was, like, the world is how it is. Do I need to be making any more stuff? Like, there's too much stuff. But I kind of feel like I saw a bit of the light in explaining to someone else that's not me. Like, yeah, I don't have to make things, but hopefully I can make things that I can share with people, which would be really, really lovely. But also, I think by doing what we do, you know, we're encouraging people to think about what they're making or to get excited about making, which takes, you know, it takes the power from other things because more people are thinking about it or doing it, and it's good, and I feel happy and grateful, and Yeah, I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense, but my sort of sense of guilt from crafting and making things is diminished and not entirely gone. Like I used a bit of superwash yarn and I was a bit sad about it, but we move forward. I didn't want to waste the yarn. It was it is a beautiful yarn that was given to me, and I said I would use it, and I've learnt I'm going to be a bit more aware and check things a little bit more before I agree to things. I'm going to keep doing sharing things that I believe in, sharing projects that I believe in, sharing yarns I believe in, and get other people hopefully thinking or excited by crafting, or, a tighter knit community. I'm just happy and grateful. So thank you for being here while I waffled a little bit. But yeah. I am going to go now, and I really hope to see you again very soon. It has been nice to sit and chat with you. I should have a little bit of nature to put in at the end should you wish to join in for that. If not, I hope to see you again very soon. I love you, and don't forget to love each other.
What is it?
I reckon it a lot. Forbidden cabbage.